Hello everyone, good morning and once again, welcome to our teaching profession class. I am Teacher Joy and today we are going to discuss the last topic of Module 5. But before we proceed, please pick up pieces of papers and arrange your chairs. Are you ready? Okay, great. Let's have first a quick review of the topic discussed last meeting. So, who could tell me the topic last meeting? Yes, Mr. Antigua. Very good. It is the Batas Pambansa Bilang 232, the Education Act of 1982. Now, who could tell me what is this law all about? Yes, Miss Andy Presto. Very good. This law aims to ensure that educational system operating with a free and democratic framework significantly contributes to achieving specific national developmental objectives. So that's all for the review. And before we proceed to our main discussion, let's have first a warm-up activity. So here's the instruction. I have here a photos and you are going to identify these photos and you will give a brief information about it. Are you ready? Okay. Here's the first picture. Who could tell me what is it? Yes, Mr. Canania. Very good. It is a teacher. Yes, Mr. Bornasal. Correct. It is a person who helps others to acquire knowledge, competencies, and values. So here's our next photo. Who could guess? Yes, Miss Inoharda. Very good. It is authority. When you hear the word authority, what comes to your mind? Yes, Mr. Diala. Very good. A government leader. What else? A person in uniform such as police. Thank you, Mr. Espinosa. What else? Yes, Miss Katipay. Correct, a president. Based on the words mentioned earlier, we will be discussing about the teachers as person in authority under CA or Commonwealth Act 578, also known as the Act to amend Article 152 of the revised penal code and your objectives for today's lessons are: at the end of the lesson, the students are expected to identify the concept of persons in authority as defined in CA 578. Discuss the real-world example of how CA 578 has been applied in the Philippine courts. And reflect on the importance of respecting and protecting teachers from violence and harm. Before that, what is authority? Yes, Mr. Herbolingo. Very good. It is the power or right to give orders, make decisions, and control others. So now, let's proceed to our main topic, which is the lesson 6, Commonwealth Act of 578, also known as the Act to amend Article 152 of the revised penal code. So, it was enacted on June 8, 1940 in the Philippines. So the exact provision of this article is so as to include teachers, professors, and persons charged with supervision of public or duly recognized private schools, colleges, and universities within the term person in authority. So, the section 1 of the provided article 152 of the revised penal code is to broaden the definition of persons in authority to include individuals directly vested with jurisdiction and those responsible for overseeing public or duly recognized private schools, colleges, and universities. So, this act focuses on two key aspects, which is the expanding the definition of persons in authority and protecting school personnel from violence. In expanding the scope of protection by extending the definition of persons in authority, the amendment grants additional protection to teachers, professors, and school supervisors, ensuring they receive the same level of safeguard as other individual in positions of authority. And in protecting school personnel, the act aims to protect the school personnel from assault and violence while they are performing their duties. So, here are some examples of how Commonwealth Act 578 has been applied in the Philippines, in the Philippine courts. So, in 2015, the student was sentenced to 6 months in the jail and a fine of 500 pesos for assaulting his teacher. And in 2016, a student was sentenced to 2 years in prison for and a fine of 1,000 pesos for assaulting his school principal. And in 2017, a student was sentenced to 4 years in prison and a fine of 1,000 pesos for assaulting his teacher with a chair. So, overall, this amendment reinforces the importance of respecting and safeguarding educators, fostering a safe and supportive learning environment for both teachers and students. And before we end our discussion, let's have a activity named Paint Me a Picture. So here's the instruction. The class will be divided into 2 groups. Each group will be given a statement or praise about the topic discussed. They will present a tableau about the group statement or praise using themselves, and one member of the group will explain how they came up with it. And each group has 2 minutes preparation and 1 minute explanation. I will give you 3 minutes to meet your group and plan for the activity. Okay, time's up. Let's now proceed to the presentation. Group 1, come in front and show your tableau. Very nice presentation, Group 1. Now let's proceed to Group 2. presented Group 2. And thank you everyone for participating. I will post your grades later in our GC, and that's all for my discussion, and thank you for participating and listening.